Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to this Bhakti Sanga Japan newsletter interview. So today we are very fortunate to have with us His Grace Samikrishi Prabhu for the month of for interview for this month of Bhakti Sanga newsletter. And so before moving on to the interview, I would like to read a brief introduction about Prabhuji. His Grace Samikrishi Prabhu is a disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Being a doctor by profession, he has done immense services to the devotee community and served the society by donating for lots of projects. For example, he donated the deities in Philadelphia temple and he made 3,000 temple units that serve as an altar in the villages. He has also served as temple president of ISKCON New Jersey for 15 years. He is known for his simplicity and humility, and he is also an initiating guru in ISKCON. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. So we welcome you to this Bhakti Sangha newsletter interview, and we are very fortunate to have you today. And thank you for providing us your valuable time and association. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatripasya kripa sindhu cha पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय हरे कृष्ण welcome Prabhuji. So Prabhuji, we just want to know can you tell about your journey in Krishna consciousness and how it has helped you in your life?
Very important question. I was born in a Vaishnava family. So from very beginning of my life, I was exposed to Krishna and Lord Ram, and they're different through Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. My father used to know all shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. So I was listening and we were reciting Ramayana 3 times a year. So that gave me impetus that there is something beyond this material life. So I came to Krishna consciousness from, from early my birth because of my parents. And I thank them for raising me in that way. Later on, as I grew up, I used to go to temples. There were temples in Nagziri is a village. So I used to run when there was a bell for evening arti. So I will go to the temple, attend a temple arti, particularly evening artis. There were Lord Ram's temple and also Lord Shiva's temple. So I used to go there. And other than that, there used to be in the village kathas, Ram Leelas, or Bhima and Mahabharat Leelas. So I used to attend from very childhood to those Leelas, and that also gave me very much into the deep life, what is Vedic culture, what is Sanatana Dharma, how. And my father, I was born in a small village. People were very simple. Everybody will reach, means address each other from very, like, not Hare Krishna, but Jai Shri Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Ram ki Jai. So they were greeting with Lord Ram's name. So that is also important for people to chant the holy name. Also, we used to have Prabhat Feri. Every morning, people would gather and go from all the village and wake up with the holy name. They used to come around 5 o'clock when it is not the sunrise, dark, and the village was hardly 3,000 population at that time. And people would wake up and go together, and other people would also join as they go. And they used to give some grains in exchange that they were given at the temple for general purpose. So some giving is also there and listening to the holy name. And I used to take some grains in a pyala, in a bowl, and give it to them early morning. I will wake up with that. And when we wake up, we used to see devotees. I used to see the deities in our home. We had Pal Gopal, but also picture of Krishna. So early morning we will crawl and like to see Krishna first thing in the morning. And in a simple way, life, we had no running water, no electricity, no phone, nothing. What to say about my birth was in 1946 May, but there were no. So we used to walk. We had some horses and animals, particularly cows, and bulls, and horse, and My father, being a doctor, used to go and with the horse to various people's houses. So how simply they used to live and be very happy is at that time. What whatever was there at that time was very very happy. Never felt any kind of anxiety or why we don't have that. And now I have everything what one can think of, but still I'm not as happy as I was during that time. So minimum requirement and life towards Krishna, simple life, and
Simple
based
living,
upon
high thinking. Simple living and high thinking. Okay. So yeah, so nice to hear your journey, Prabhu. As you said that from your childhood you have been woke up only like how Prabhupada says that his father will be doing arati and he will be waking up. So it's that kind of experience that you were having. So yeah, so from this, how did you? So okay, so from your childhood you were not in contact with ISKCON, but somehow you were in contact with other. Gods and you were into worship. So then how you got introduced into ISKCON?
action. Means I did my medical in Gandhi Medical College, Bhopal. We used to go to various Tirtha places, particularly before coming to US. I went to Jagannath Temple in Jagannath Puri. And when I came to US in 1971, uh, then there was, my wife used to go to attend speaking English in a foreign country. So there used to be schools, many places used to give that courses because very few foreigners were there, particularly very few Indians were there. So my wife used to stand at the bus stand to go to the downtown or Central Park of Philadelphia, which is a big city. So the one Gujarati fellow met us and he said that Banji, there is a Jagannath temple. We were there just before coming to US. So he took us, came to the next weekend, Sunday, and we went to the temple, met with devotees, saw the Lord Jagannath in a giant empowerment, very nicely aarti and one family, Ravindra Prabhu, his wife, we came to know them and we had children also. And so we used to invite them at our home as often as possible. We used to come, take prasad, we used to discuss. So with the devotee association and inviting them at our home also. We had many home programs also, like a Bhakti Praksha and Kirtan, reading. So in this way, we were introduced to the ISKCON of Krishna consciousness by coming in touch with the temple of ISKCON in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That was in 1972.
Okay.
We went in some, it took us some time, but we used to worship deities at our home, although there were many deities. Means even we will put picture of Jesus Christ and Lord Shiva and everyone. But gradually when we came to ISKCON, gradually they were all removed and only except Krishna, he did not have any other deities, just Radha and Krishna. And my wife used to worship them. She joined Vallabh Sampradaya in her childhood, 9, 10 years. So she was very fond of worshipping Bal Gopal. So she used to be Bal Gopal also worshipping and without offering them. So we used to offer them every day prasad and give to our friends and
So you were like worshipping all gods, like how you were saying, right? You were worshipping
yes.
Jesus Christ also and other gods also. But finally you had stopped with Krishna. So there is no supreme. So how did you come to this point? Okay, he is the supreme.
When we read Back to Godhead magazine and knew that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, is all the other they come from him and he empowers them. Those others are like Brahma and Mahesh and they are all the hosts. Are not hosts, that's also deities form. Like Brahma is a kind of host. So when we knew that there is no need, Krishna worship encompasses all kinds of worship. So we discontinued that and exclusively just worship Krishna. So when we were convinced that is the real way path, and many articles I used to read in the Gita and Back to Godhead magazine. Every time the magazine used to come, it used to be every monthly before. Now it is every 2 months in English it used to be. So from very beginning of the paper and pages to the last page, I used to read them all. And there are articles from different devotees. They will explain that you don't need to worship all demigods and others except Krishna, and that's why we continue worshiping Krishna.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So because of that, so much we got DPs also at Philadelphia Temple. Philadelphia Temple was on a smaller place. There was only Jagannath. So they were buying a new temple. I donated money, but at the same time, I got this Radha Sharad Vihari, which are installed now there. And that was in 1978. 1978, we got those DPs from Jaipur, and we donated that too. And at the same time,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Philadelphia
Prabhu,
Temple,
sorry to interrupt, 1978, what you were saying?
29, the DTs. We went to India, brought the DTs, and gave it to. They were enclosed in a closet initially, but then they were installed. Also, we had our DTs, Radha Krishna, we will install it. That way, they give the name same Radha Sharad Bihari. That by seeing them, we could remember the Philadelphia Temple DTs. So in our home also came, and also we got Lord Jagannath Baladev Subhadra also, because that was when we visited Jagannath Puri, we got those DTs. They are still being worshipped in my home in US.
Very wonderful, Prabhu. So actually, so nice. So bringing the deity and also you were installing it. So very nice to hear about that. And yeah, so you were a doctor by profession, right? So in your initial days, how you were able to do your sadhana along with your this active your profession also, because many of us we have this question inside our mind, right? So like how to balance this material life and the spiritual life. So when we are as means the doctor profession is not an easy thing, so they have so many complications in that, right? So then how we were able to do your job and also the spiritual activities? So what was your timetable and how did you compromise?
Still, there is a way. If we are really desiring to do that, chant our rounds, then that provides you the way. And I was working in a small hospital where mostly I was emergency physician taking care. I was really a director of emergency department, but a small hospital. I chose a small basically that I could read even while working, but they give liberty to stay in your home. Uh, Even as a director, whenever there is patient, there hardly used to be 12 to 15 patients in a whole 24 hours. So it was a lot of time in between where I can chant and read also and do my sadhana. I chose especially for that reason. Although before that I was working in big hospitals, hardly you could eat even with these emergency calls and seeing one after another. Like you can't eat, you have to stand up to see the patients and this emergency, that emergency. In big hospitals like Allentown General Hospital or Bethlehem Hospital in Bethlehem or Easton, I worked there, but saw that it's too busy for us to continue our sadhana. So I gave up those position and came. They offered me as an ER director in St. Joseph's Hospital in Carbondale, Pennsylvania. So I worked there for almost 10 years. And then after that, I left that place and joined in Pennsylvania, near Philadelphia Temple, so we could go more often to the temple. So I opened my own walking care clinic in Poconos, Pennsylvania.
seems like Krishna has made the plan, right? So
Yes. Just 1 second. Somebody's
yeah.
knocking at me. Hare Krishna. Sorry for interruption.
It's okay. It's okay.
So we can
So it
continue.
seems like it's all Krishna's plan that even your job also. So there was no hurdles in doing your sadhana, right? So you were peacefully doing all your sadhana and also your practice also. So how did you come in contact with Prabhupada at that point of time?
Uh,
And when did you get initiation, Prabhu?
One thing, we used to invite devotees from all over, take care of them medically also, because there were hardly any medical doctors in the moment. And then we heard, while I was working in Philadelphia, we heard that Srila Prabhupada is coming to New York City in Henry Street. So we drove early morning. I took a day off, I drove and went to hear his class early morning, because we did not know whether we will be able to see Prabhupada personally or not. So I thought that why not we see him while he's giving the lecture. So I, my wife, my brother, one another friend, so we all went to such a speed that we had to get a ticket from police in the way, just because of our rush to go. So anyway, we reached in time, after class. Then we were told by devotees to please come, Prabhupada would like to see you. We They escorted us to his room because there were hardly any Indians used to come during that time. So Prabhupada, we sat there, and there were another family was there, and so we were talking. Prabhupada was very much relaxed. This was just after he gave the class. He went to his room, and they invited us that please Prabhupada would like to see you. And so we could not dare to ask that we would like to see Prabhupada. So, but they asked, it is Krishna's mercy and Prabhupada's mercy, by his kindness, that we could go and see him. So generally, we sat there and more relaxed, and just asked the names, and then I asked the question that our mind goes with. I was chanting from almost 72 since I joined the temple, Hare Krishna Mantra. That was 1972 when I joined Philadelphia temple. So chanting, but mind would go to hundreds of places, just here and there, making plans, what we would do. So I asked that question, that my mind diverts to many, many places. What is the way to control it, or how we could put more attention on the holy name and hear it from? So Prabhupada's answer was very short, that you try to bring it back as, as much as possible, and by the strength of the holy name, and also by the numerical strength, you will be able to control. Because name is very, very important, and that will happen if you desire, you do it voluntarily to bring it back. But if you let it go hither and thither, then then it's not possible. It will take long, long time. So that was his answer. Another question was not that I asked, but Prabhupada saw one gentleman who was Punjabi, and his wife was American, and she used to come and serve the temple, giving aarti to everybody. We used to go to the temple quite often. We used to offer aarti, and then Prabhupada saw, he saw that you are married, but if it is based on Krishna consciousness, not on bodily platform, yes, marriage is all right. But it was international marriage, not intercaste, international marriage. And he himself, he just said, hardly that he ever said like that. But he said, even international marriage based on Krishna consciousness is okay. They both are practicing Krishna consciousness, not on bodily attraction, bodily beauty or whatever.
Yeah. So then, when you got initiated from Prabhupada?
I attended Prabhupada's Rath Yatras in 75 in Philadelphia. That was first Rath Yatra, and there was, he used to meet us in the temple initially before the Yatra, and Prabhupada used to come and sit on the Mother Subhadra's cart, and then at the Philadelphia, and the next year, 76, was New York Rath Yatra, in where there is Fifth Avenue, which has very, very high-rise buildings, 100 floors and 80 floors buildings in Prabhupada. But Prabhupada was worshipped like as if God, like with all the. So it was in my little bit in the mind that why he is worshipped as the supreme entity of Godhead. So that was. So I asked that question to my beginning teachers who used to know Bhagavad Gita quite well, and he says that you chant this mantra, uh, Karpanya dosha pahata swabhava prachami tvam dharma jamava cheta yashreya nishritam mudritam me shishyaste shadham. Uh, Second chapter, seventh verse. So I chanted evening time. Then I realized that Prabhupada is a very, very genuine spiritual master. I should take shelter of. But it took me a long time. In 1977, at Janmashtami day, and Prabhupada was supposed to come to uh, New Vrindavan, New York, but he got more sick in London at that time, and he returned back. But then he authorized, it was 250 devotees were gathered together to take initiation. But then His Holiness Bhakti Pada was authorized that we could give initiation to them who are ready. So he gave us, but on behalf of Prabhupada, it was not a rigid system. Once he appreciated, but it was for Prabhupada. That was in 77 Janmashtami day. Almost 250 devotees took initiation at that time. Although Prabhupada was supposed to come to New York and New Vrindavan, we used to gather together at Janmashtami time in New Vrindavan. It was the biggest temple at that time. And from all the temples, except Pujaris, they used to come to New Vrindavan at that time. So 77, I think it was August, Janmashtami, August.
Janmashtami, yeah. Okay. Very nice. And so from there, your journey started as a disciple of Prabhupada, and you have done so many services for ISKCON. And from that, so it's mentioned as you were the temple president. Hare Krishna.
So, can you see it? Okay. Because some calls comes in between.
Okay, so it is mentioned that you were the temple president, right, Prabhu? So as a temple president, so you must have faced so many challenges, right? So in dealing with the devotees and all the temple affairs and all. So what was the most challengeable service you saw in your journey as a temple president, and how did you solve it? And how do you see the conflicts among the devotees when they do the services?
Yeah. There are many challenges, many different things. At that time, to keep the devotees together, not for services, who will do the pujari work, who will do artis during the like Janmashtami or Ramnavami or different holidays, and so there was some problems with that services also. But being a small temple, it was Tobacco, New Jersey, and it was not a very big temple to manage hundreds of devotees, but few devotees, and it was not difficult part. I was doing my work also. I was doing my sadhana also and taking care of my family members. But it took care. Our more challenges was during my temple presidency. We bought a land very close to my house, and that land we bought, and there were many problems to get permission for building a temple. And then we had to raise funds. That was just for the land itself was $2 million. And then to build it and get permission, and many meetings I had to attend with township and with engineers and these people, many meetings, but they would always some neighbors and always some difficulty to get the permission to build a temple. But it happened. It took many years, and still the temple is in final stages of completion, and hopefully that it will be completed soon. So it will move from Tobacco temple to Parsippany temple. So challenges were managing devotees, yeah, keeping them happy, congregational fundraising, uh, buying and going through these meetings. So, but anyway, Krishna takes care of everything. If we have a strong desire, Krishna does fulfill always. Always he helps us.
Yeah, actually we say this, but still inside when we are doing the service, right? So physically, mainly when we come in contact physically with the devotees and doing the services, so we are not like in the Gopi Bhav or Goloka Vasis Bhav, right? So we are normal human beings. So we think that okay, she's doing a better service than me. Oh, he's doing 2-3 services more than me. So all those things also comes in the mind. So how do you see that, Prabhu?
Hmm. I try to give to the more senior people, but juniors also has to be given the same kind of responsibility and services, so they become happy. You cannot have just like my wife is a like kind of head pujari, then another Mataji at the temple they used to stay. We never stayed in the temple. We had our own separate house. Mostly temple residents they lived in the temple, but we never lived in the temple. It's a nearby place, and we used to drive. But giving equally responsibility or equally seva to others who are there, and that would make the things more easily rather than that you prefer such. So never have any preference to any particular person. Everybody is equal. All the devotees for serving, they should be given equal and special holidays that they like to be prominent in the holidays, like during Abhishek time or during Janmashtami, Ramnavami, Gaur Purnima, Annakut, Diwali, or various festivals. But they used to decorate very nicely to the temple hall, being small, and people would take like we will carry Rath Yatras also outside initially, but it was expensive. That was also another challenge that we collect all the funds, but mostly devotees used to join. It was after Rath Yatra, which was big. So people were telling when who were coming were it's mostly like a picnic kind for devotees. It was not a public that public joins through that Rath Yatra. We never had any person who joined the temple or who came in the temple to serve us. So later on, we stopped the Rath Yatras. But later on, again it has started. But it was in a much bigger way of going to the ocean beach in New Jersey. And, but the result was, as far as I know, the result was not. That was another reason that we used to spend so much money with no devotees joining or becoming devotees, not joining, but even started chanting. So, like say Philadelphia temple spends almost $100,000 or more for one Rath Yatra, much more than that. But still, I felt that if it is in India, it is more people could join, and that gave me impetus that not why not to build a temple, nice temple, that people would get attracted and come, and that was the result that I later on built a temple in Khargone, in village areas, so villagers also come and see. Prabhupada Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prediction was Pratvite Ate Achre Nagaradigram Sarvata Prachar Hoive or Nam. So I thought that I should become an instrument prediction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Prabhupada also wanted that every town and village that should spread, not just city, but if people from villages they join or they are convinced they could remain devotees much in a stronger way. The reason is now everybody is following Western culture or Western way of environment. But people who are very, very rich, it's very difficult because they are so much busy with their affairs that hardly they find any time. But in villages, they have so much time after crafts and they are done, they have more time. But anyway, and now everything, whether it is west or east, same,
Wonderful.
same ball game, same way of leading their life, rich or poor, but if they take to whoever it is, if they take to Krishna consciousness seriously, it has a very, very effects that they could go back home back to God and they could be connected with Krishna and get our real goal of life, go and at the service of Krishna in his dham.
So, very wonderful. So, uh, with the devotees, what is the important quality that you want a devotee must have, and a quality which a devotee should not have? Do you think anything like that? Any one
So the
quality, one.
devotee's quality, what they should have, they should be humble, they should associate with other devotees, never try to be aloof that I could chant more or I could be no. Once they don't associate with the other devotees, then there are much more chances of falling down. So connection with devotees, attending like regularly, waking up early and chanting the holy name of the Lord, taking only prasad, not going. So that is another, and regularly going to dham like Vrindavan or Mayapur. So those things are also necessary. That I used to go to Mayapur, Vrindavan, or Jagannath Puri, and so those are also necessary. So association, finishing their rounds early in the morning, waking up early, taking only prasad, and going to certain dhams, and chanting on a regular basis. Not that one day chant, and the qualities that you ask that what are the things that may deter you from becoming a Krishna conscious is wrong association, asat sanga tyag. I was asat sanga should not be there. Too much wastage of time and gossiping or in other activity, then Krishna consciousness. Too many books to read also, I feel that many books are. So you could read, but basically Prabhupada's books and reading what that has everything, not to divert to oh such and such sannyasi. So nice. So let us go to Radha from present time. What is your people come and ask me how to get your Swarup Siddhi. Swarup Siddhi means who you are in the spiritual world and practicing them from earlier before we are even qualified to think of Swarup Siddhi. First we have to become a devotee, then Krishna will remove the ego. Not that we have to search for that and artificially try to mimic that Swarup that you would be later on or you could be later on. But that I have seen some devotees that they fell down from becoming even a devotee. Even. Once they stop chanting, they stop. So that part I saw personally that thinking of Swarup Siddhi or somebody else other than Prabhupada could give more than what they are. Prabhupada is not giving their Swarup. So why not to join somebody else? And like say Radhakund Babaji's and other. I'm not saying they are good or bad, but to putting your mind before you are qualified would not. So enumerate people who cannot join or it's too much wastage of their time, too much trying to live very luxuriously, spending their time in other other than Krishna conscious time. So asatman and eating anywhere and everywhere in hotels, motels, dining parties, and that will keep the mind from going to Krishna. It's very common, big parties, big eating food, making too many friends, too many outing. So our life is short and we should put our attention on focus more on Krishna consciousness, those activities which will extend our life, which will give us more positive connection. and less outside work, that we should really not use our time
So
on making the friendships. Yes.
yeah, we can understand. We say, as you said, that life is short. We have to use this for use this life wisely and return back. So as Prabhupada also says always. So but that is not happening, right? So what is the materialistic point of view? The life is short. You have to enjoy till the time you be here. So that is the materialistic point of view. So how do you tell to your disciples, to the neophytes, devotees, so whoever comes, right, Prabhu? So how do you encourage them to take into this process and make them understand?
Like as you said, simple life and high thinking. High seeing is one thing, but whether they follow all or not, it is different. But uh, what I tell them, that use your time most of the time in Krishna consciousness, not thinking in whatever activity that will please Krishna. You do that in whatever activities that does not please Krishna, you should not engage. So do not. So time is everybody's time is limited. Whatever they may have to live at young age or elderly age or childhood, nobody knows. So whatever we have, we should utilize that for chanting, reading, spreading, bringing. A main aim by opening a temple is to bring all the to at the lotus feet of Krishna. Somehow they should be connected with Krishna. If they could be connected with Krishna, that would be their at least the beginning of their Krishna consciousness. Somehow, just by giving them flowers, flower garlands, prasad, they're seeing the deities, they're offering like that. Some way or other, if they are connected to Krishna, their spiritual life begins. And whether they could finish in this life or not, but they could start where they left. At least their human life is guaranteed. Swalpam api asya dharmasya prayate mahotaya. That a little endeavor on this path would free you from so much danger in the future. That you take animal lives, insect lives, grass and plant lives, and you don't have to go through that. Krishna is very, very kind, very, very merciful. He is looking that we go back to our home, to our real Father, and He helps us. But we have to endeavor. He does not force on us. So we have to endeavor ourselves. And so if we could bring those souls, including ourselves also, to the lotus feet of Krishna, in one way or another, we should be connected to Krishna. We have disconnected ourselves and we have to connect again. Somehow, by not getting the knowledge, proper knowledge, that is what not properly knowing what is right and what is wrong. That's why um, we are away from Krishna. But Krishna is so merciful. He gives you many, many opportunities, many like he has created cell for Krishna consciousness. Cell means Janmashtami time or time for uh, like you have Kartik time or special months. Then Krishna gives you more if you do chant on those days. Even one round it would be equal to 1,000 rounds. So why not to Ekadashi or Krishna is created in such a logic all these things. That if one wants to become Krishna conscious, he will become. If he wants to keep away, then what Krishna can do or what anybody else. So we should provide ways that they somehow join Krishna consciousness.
Mm.
Prabhupada single-handedly has done so much. So they are all together and do it. How much it could be beneficial to the society, to the country, to the place where ग्यारह देखो तारे कहो कृष्णोपदेश हमारा आज्ञा है गुरु तारे. And by my order, you preach to Krishna, you give them, become even their guru, and give them Krishna conscious. Not initiating, but you become their Siksha guru, whomever you meet.
Okay. So nice, yeah. So what is a important instruction that you remember from Srila Prabhupada.
Hmm.
So you have met Prabhupada, right? So how frequently you have met Prabhupada, and what is the important instruction that you cannot forget that Prabhupada has given this?
Hmm. See, my meeting with him was not many times, 6, 7 times that I met with Srila Prabhupada, saw him during the Yatra. But important part, don't waste your time in frivolous activity. If we could use our time in Krishna consciousness, chanting, going to holy dham, going to the temple, and engaging whatever service, and also bring conditioned souls. My main thing is bring people to Krishna. We are all forgotten children of Krishna, are rotting in the material world. But if you could somehow give them some impetus to Krishna consciousness, whatever way or means, that is the important part I learned from Srila Prabhupada, that people should try to bring people who are away from Krishna to the lotus feet of Krishna. Like father, like son has gone away or lost this worldly jugglery or what. So why not to bring them to those souls at the lotus feet of Krishna? Our eternal Father will always be happy with that endeavor. And then you perform your Krishna conscious activity. That is a separate part. But the best thing you could do for the public is to bring them to Krishna in a nice, humble, submissive way rather than fighting with them. Why do you do this? Why do you do that? Rather, this pointing the Prabhupada saw a small, whatever, a small attitude to serve. He engaged them in that. And that way they were engaged in Krishna service. So he saw some spark of some seva. So make them fire, make a big fire out of that small spark, and them. So they develop more of their Krishna consciousness.
So when very nice instruction from should go through once again this recording. So actually, it's very inspiring. So whatever you say, like your meeting with Prabhupada and all the instructions and how the devotees have to be. So thank you so much for that. And yeah, so how do you come in contact with Bhakti Sangha?
Okay, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Prabhu, how did you come in contact with Bhakti Sangha?
Oh, how did I? I used to go to Charlotte. My brother used to live there, my sister-in-law. So her friend was Shama Gauri Mataji. And
Oh,
because of Shama Mataji was, and then she was inviting me to come this Bhakti Sanga group. And also she asked to initiate her parents. So I traveled to her place and initiated them this year only. So that's how I came in contact through Shama Mataji, through Charlotte. She used to live in Charlotte. My brother was there. So I used to go and visit them, and she invited me coming in this, giving the classes.
So do you think anything have to improve on Bhakti Sangha?
Yeah. No, what was, can you repeat?
Anything do you want to get improved on Bhakti Sangha? Do you like this platform
Oh,
or anything you want to improve in this?
no, they are doing very nicely. I'm very happy. And they have various senior devotees who are coming to give lectures and but particularly topic that if you give them every time means there are verses that you go through Srimad Bhagavatam, that is also good. And I think what they are doing is, but so many, like there were one group, then there are two groups, some they broke and became two groups. Everyday chant and Bhakti Sanga Japa group. Uh, and so if it is together, I feel it is better. Together we stand, divided we fall. So rather than dividing ourselves, I would feel that it is not good. As if we are not political parties who are attracting to one side or another side. We are devotees and we should remain together. Prabhupada used to say, if you have to, if one is stick, anybody can break it, but if there are 11 or 20, you cannot break them. So, unity is the force. Prabhupada also that you unite together, not that you disunite. Unity
Yeah.
should be there in Krishna consciousness. And we should not differentiate who is Guru or who is somebody's Guru. It should be all our Prabhupada is the real Guru for everybody. He is the root cause, he is the root for everyone. So we should really, depend on Prabhupada, and through him we should keep the society together.
So thank you so much, Prabhuji. So definitely we'll take into consideration whatever you have said. So thank you so much for coming on the call and giving us your valuable time and association for this interview. And I really think it will be helpful for each and everyone who are watching this interview. And thank you for inspiring us and giving classes on Bhakti Sanga. And we want your association in future also. Thank you so much once again, Prabhuji. वाञ्छकल्पद्रुपश कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनन्तकोटि वैष्णव जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय His Grace Samikrishi Prabhuji ki jai. Hare Krishna.
So there would be any questions that people who are in audience would like to ask?